evening, folks, and welcome to Garbage Theater. Tonight's installment, Old. I'm John, here with my co-host Chase.
Hey.
And Blake.
Hello.
How we doing, fellas?
Great. Fantastic.
Wonderful. Wonderful now that I don't have to walk us through this goddamn train wreck.
Yeah, so for the first time ever, Chase is on an episode that he is not hosting.
Yes, it's liberating. I didn't take a single note.
I imagine he's currently in a reclined position, just chilling.
No. I'm upright. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready to talk about this nonsense.
Whew. Old, you guys.
I am extremely glad I didn't have to type this specific movie up, because this looked like it was a fucking nightmare to have to break down into a script.
Yeah, I was telling Chase this thing is dense. It's like there's always something happening.
Y'all are really gonna hate me this episode.
You didn't watch it?
No, I watched it. But I didn't have a problem with it.
What?
I watched it twice.
Whoa.
Okay. Now, yeah.
I do hate you.
Yeah, there's a problem. There's a serious problem now.
Like, yeah, I know. Look, it was no Signs, but it was okay.
This movie was made for simple people who have trouble paying attention through an entire sentence.
Easy. Like I said, I'm not saying it was groundbreaking. I'm not saying it's groundbreaking. I'm not saying it was innovative. It wasn't bad.
That's why they had to explain, they had to narrate everything that was happening down to the detail to make sure it didn't fly over your head.
That would be like one of my critiques, but it wasn't that bad. Who cares?
Oh my God. What is happening?
Well, it did get a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So did Twisted Pair.
Well, yeah, that's a different thing going on.
Yeah, I think this had considerably less sarcastic positive votes on it.
So I sort of know where you're coming from, and then particularly after coming off of a Neil Breen movie, this thing is like a miracle.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
I will say the last third of it was better because it became a flat out fucking comedy. I never laughed out loud so much at things that were supposed to be serious.
Yeah. And look, there were things that were stupid, and there were things that bothered me, but not enough for me to be like crazy. Like, I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't that bad.
I think there's it was based on a graphic novel. Yes. And everything I read about the graphic novel sounds like it's good. Like, they didn't make any of the mistakes that Shyamalan made in adapting it. So there could have been, I feel like, a great movie in here somewhere.
Yeah.
But you need a different writer-director.
Yeah, if he didn't think his audience was entirely comprised of blind, deaf, and dumb people.
And also populated by blind, deaf, and dumb people. All right, let me get into...
The dog died, but it was just alive. Oh no, I need my calcium.
Oh man,
motherfucker.
All right, let me break it down real quick. So we got movie came out in 2021. It was a COVID production.
Okay.
It's an hour and 48 minutes, and boy does it feel it.
Too long.
Written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. You know who it is. Based on the graphic novel Sandcastle by Pierre Oscar Levay and Frederick Peters. It's got a 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 50% Rotten Tomatoes score, pretty high scores on Amazon. It's got like a 4 stars. It's kind of weird to me. But what do you think? Should we get into it?
I mean, that's what we're here for.
Let's do it. So, we open on some palm trees, gently swaying, and pan down to catch a shuttle for the Anamika Resort, traveling down the road. Inside is a family of 4. We've got Mom, Priska, Dad, Guy, daughter, Maddox, and son, Trent. The daughter is singing along to music that is presumably coming over the sound system, but when she stops, so does the music.
It's voice activated.
Yeah. And boys, she's flat as hell. You know, she's not hitting them notes.
Okay, but before any of these people even spoke, I got this gut feeling that I was going to hate all of them.
Well, so at this point, I'm still not invested in the movie. And as soon as the kids
the 2 seconds in.
as soon as the kids sang and spoke, I was like, okay, I hope these fuckers die. But then, you know, that was just my knee jerk reaction. They were kind of aggravating kids. That's all.
Sure.
I said all these people are going to be grating as hell. I just know it, and they were.
Her mom is like, "Sing it, girl." that gave me like full body like goosebumps and cringe.
Yeah. And then she also says, "Oh, I can't wait to hear your voice when you're older." Oh, okay, slow it down, Shyamalan.
Yeah, yeah.
We just fucking started.
I'm like, don't encourage this behavior. The daughter, who can't perform while being observed, apparently responds, "Now I can't." And her little brother from the backseat agrees that her spontaneity has been stripped from her. And boys, we got a precocious kid.
I'm telling you, I can't.
Her mom tells her she has a beautiful voice, and yes, that she can't wait to hear it when she's older, and thus begins like a rapid fire series of very subtle lines of dialogue.
Oh yeah.
The little brother Trent asks about scuba diving at the resort and how old does a child have to be to do scuba diving. His dad thinks he's a bit too young. Trent complains that he was told it would only be 5 minutes, but technically it's been way, way more than 5 minutes.
M. Night Shyamalan should never have been allowed out of movie jail.
We put him there for a reason. And then Mom says, "Stop wishing away this moment." But Mom's on her phone with work stuff, and Trent calls her out for being a goddamn hypocrite. So that was like
you,
1 minute of the movie.
Or whatever your name is.
I guess I should give M. Night some credit for using the precocious child trope thematically. The definition of precocious is having developed certain abilities or proclivities at an earlier age than usual. The shuttle arrives at the resort, and Priska takes... or she says that this is much nicer than Cancun. Like Cancun's listening and she's trying to make it mad or something. I'm like, what's the unnecessary digs at Cancun?
I think it was foreshadowing for her proclivity to always see the grass always greener on the other side.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
man.
Maybe Blake's gonna change our minds, Chase.
Oh, wow.
A man opens the door to their bus and welcomes them to their version of paradise. Only he said version instead of version, so he's German or some shit, and my evil detector is going off big time.
He's whatever Chekhov is. Nuclear vessels.
They enter the lobby and are greeted by a woman named Madrid. Almost none of these names I got from the dialogue. Like, for some reason, all these characters have accents, and I have a hard time understanding what a lot of them are saying.
Yeah. Lots of thick accents in this movie.
The subtitles were my friend.
John says, #speak American.
Yeah.
So Madrid gives them all cocktails, and Priska can't believe she found this place online.
What does that mean?
I don't know. She's like from the 90s. She's like, I was on the AOL.
On that internet. That internet's a fucking ghost town.
They got nothing on there, but I found this place. We track through the resort a bit to see some people working on some tile mosaic and arranging some flowers, and settle on a table that appears to have been set up by that candy shop owner in Willy Wonka. That absolutely brings all the kids to the yard.
Mm-hmm.
Those big ass lollipops, a whole jar of them. Trent and his sister meet another kid at the table who demands they mix the vanilla and strawberry. He introduces himself. I didn't catch his name, but it's Idlib.
Idlib.
Not a name that I've ever heard before.
I immediately spent like 10 minutes trying to rearrange the letters to try to figure out what the fuck this hack of a director is trying to cram into this kid's name.
Maybe he knows something. I got nothing on Idlib. Idlib and Trent exchange their feats of power. Trent can do a 100-piece jigsaw puzzle, but Idlib counters with having 42 conch shells, which devastates Trent, rendering a
big dick conch shells.
Yeah, he's unable to work the drink dispensers now. And then Idlib, in another show of dominance, has to come over and help him. The family makes their way to their room, passing a sign welcoming the Mackenzie Stratford Realtors Convention. I wrote this note down assuming that it was important because there was a full frame of the movie, but it never came back. They get inside their room, and the kids start clowning around, and Guy starts rattling off statistics about furniture-related injuries.
The fucking C-3PO over here. Every goddamn chance he gets, because that's what his job is. This is going to become a thing.
Yeah, we don't find out till later what his job is, but yes, it's job-related, as are so many other things.
I kind of like, this one kind of made me realize that how much of a buzzkill I am sometimes. Because being a safety guy, sometimes I do bring up like, hey, that mundane thing can hurt you. And, so, but I'm not a fucking tool like that guy, so.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Trent's supposed to be like 6 or something. And he's like, so and so percent of accidents occur. The kid's like, I don't know what percent means. Not sure this would help with their behavior. Myself.
Also, let me ask you this: I don't want to sound insensitive, but I truly like this. Isn't like me trying to make a joke. I truly couldn't figure out if this was trying to do or not. What they were trying to do. Is he supposed to be like one of them super smart autistic kids, or is he just like a little prick?
That's what I thought, but it's
not.
It's difficult to pinpoint that down because they are just supposed to be a couple of don't know anything kids,
right?
Yeah, and it seems like if he was supposed to be autistic, it would have come up at some point.
You would think, because it kind of just goes away.
Because every other, condition anyone has comes up ad nauseum.
Right. Yeah, displayed prominently.
Well, maybe it's just a phase that he grew out of.
Because then it becomes even harder to tell when they age them up because it's like,
it goes away.
These teenagers acting like children, and I hated it.
Well, they were,
It just felt really creepy.
I mean, they didn't
did
stop
it feel,
being
was it
6 years
creepy?
old. Oh, they were. Oh, yeah. Well,
Did the activities of the teenage 6-year-olds were creepy?
I would, yes.
We'll get
That's an
there.
accurate
We'll
word.
get there. That was like that should not have been in the movie, but anyway.
Fucking hell.
So Guy finally shoos the kids off, and he finds a brochure for a pharmaceutical company on the end table, and just goes on and on to Priska about how much his company loves this pharmaceutical company, and despite the humidity, Priska couldn't be drier. The kids emerge with bathing suits, and their dad does a little goof where he pretends the brochure says kids aren't allowed on the beach, and then they all do a wrestle. Cut over to the beach, and Maddox is watching some older kids, and Trent and Idlib are just running around annoying everybody on the beach, asking them their names and occupations.
Well, this is all important data for the movie, John. Especially this one, because this pays off in the twist later.
Well, I actually, okay, you go through a Shyamalan movie looking for the twist, you know? So, as soon as they were going around, what's your name and what do you do? Like, I immediately was like, okay, something's going to happen where this is all going to be important. And sure enough.
Yeah.
But
who is your daddy and what does he do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So yeah, this here begins this particular movie's weird obsession with people's occupations. It's very bizarre, and I'll bring it up every time it happens. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's relevant, often it's not. It's honestly one of the weirdest things that stuck with me about the movie.
There's like 2 of them that's relevant, and all the other ones are not relevant at all. But goddamn, are they going to try to use their profession to solve this puzzle?
However, it wasn't lost on me that, you know, when kids get together, they can talk and play and do all these things. Like, they get along swimmingly no matter what. But as you get older, it seems like the only thing you talk about in conversation is what you do for a living.
I don't like how you're trying to make this man seem like he knows what he's doing.
I'm just pointing things out. I'm not saying that he's a genius. All I'm doing is pointing it out. I
mean, it's fair that people spend a large portion of their lives at work. They don't have much else to talk about.
And last time you went to like some function like with your old lady, and you don't know everybody there, and you meet new people. What do you talk about?
Yeah.
What
do you do?
Yeah,
I understand.
Just shooting facts out there. Just saying.
What if that solely devolved into like a horror movie scenario? I wouldn't be trying to shoehorn my graphic designer knowledge.
Well,
to try to run the fucking show.
Talking to strangers about what I do for a living is my horror movie scenario.
So Idlib then suggests the truth-telling game, which translates to the absolutely owning yourself game. Trent says he can't do a push-up. And then Idlib wins or loses. I don't know how this game works. By admitting he doesn't have any friends.
It's the who's more pathetic game.
Yeah. So I thought Idlib was coming on a bit strong when he begged Trent to never leave. And then Trent one-ups him with maybe my mom will let me FaceTime you. You can come over to my house and make up stories, and then we can go to the same college and become neighbors with mortgages. I'm like, what is this? Idlib responds, cool. End scene.
Yeah.
Later that evening, back in the hotel room, Guy and Priska are fighting. It turns out they wanted to give their kids one last vacation before telling them they are separating.
Yeah, which is always
and they're doing
a
hell of a
idea.
job keeping it secret.
in like a 2-room.
They're basically in the same room as the kids, screaming at each other.
There's not even a door between them. It's one of those little hanging bead curtains between the two doors.
The kids are just sitting there enjoying the show the whole time. God. Also, it's hinted that Priska has some kind of medical issue that they're not going to get into. I don't really understand.
Tumor. There's 2 kindergarten cop references in one fucking movie.
Hell yeah. I don't know what the fight's about, really. Does guy want to tell the kids now on the vacation? And then Priska's mad because he's always thinking about the future. And Guy's mad because she works in a museum. Like,
yeah.
I was like, what does this mean?
No, we got to get John. We have to get the professions out on the table.
Everyone has to know what everyone does,
right?
Yeah. She's always thinking about the future, or he's always thinking about the future. She's always thinking about the past because she works in a goddamn museum, which is a very weird thing to say.
It's a weird dig.
It's just my job. Once the fight's over, Trent pulls out an encoded message from Idlib and gets to work translating. The IMDb trivia said the code looks like the Zodiac Killer's messages, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's okay. Is there is this kid going to be like, the next BTK or something? What the hell's going
on? So later on, back at a beach somewhere in the early morning, it's popping off. A hot lady is taking off all her clothes, and a guy is watching and enjoying the show, and that's it.
And that guy was John.
Probably the best part of the movie. You get like a little top of the butt action, because this is a PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
A little later at breakfast, we meet another group of characters. A thin blonde woman who we find out way later is named Crystal.
That did come late.
It was like 2/3 through the movie that someone finally says her name.
She wasn't that important.
She orders the calcium bomb juice drink, telling the waiter, who does not need to know this, that she has a calcium deficiency. Which, given the subtle nature of the film's dialogue so far, can only mean something fucked up's gonna happen to her bones later.
Yeah.
She instructs her 5-year-old daughter, Kara, whatever, to sit up straight because boys don't want to fuck hunchbacks. And,
exactly.
It's true.
Sit up, you fucking uggo.
Listen, we don't have the money to fly you all the way to the Cathedral of Notre Dame.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not attractive. I'll go out on a limb and say it.
Crystal was right. Why are you booing her? She's right. Also with her is again, this is all stuff we find out way later. I'm just getting it out of the way. Her husband Charles and his mother Agnes and their dog.
Yeah, and the dog.
The extremely bad vibes German guy from earlier is chatting with our original family, the Kappa family, and since they're having difficulty deciding what to do today, he suggests an impossible-to-find, super-secret beach with special minerals that he only tells guests he likes about. And as long as they don't tell anyone else, he'll arrange a bus to take them there. Just totally normal shit here. No alarm bells at all.
I know if I was on some vacation and somebody told me that, I would immediately lean over and tell my wife, "We're not going there." Like,
we're going home, actually.
Yeah.
I think the regular beach will do.
Yeah, exactly.
What do they got there?
Yeah. I'm fine not going to the impossible to find murder beach.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Idlib is looking on, and the evil German rushes over to scoot him away. Then a sudden crash attracts everyone's attention. A woman's on the floor convulsing, and her husband looks just kind of annoyed.
Well, he's seen it before.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All he knows is breakfast is ruined.
My fucking eggs are gonna be cold now.
Here we go again. Gotta start this shit. Everybody's gonna stare at us, and I gotta explain. Oh, you just have seizures. Back to your meals, everybody. While I gotta hit, the cold breakfast after and pretend like I care.
No, don't. It's all right, honey. Don't worry about it. I like my toast cold.
Yeah, and this guy, it's Ken Leung, and he's been in lots of things, and he knows how to act, but he forgot for this movie.
Yeah,
because he's delivering his lines like Neil Breen.
He really is one of the worst offenders.
He's just saying things.
He's awful.
The air.
Charles comes over and crouches down, announcing that he's a doctor. The husband informs him that his wife has epilepsy and that he is a nurse named Jaren. So we're just the kids finding out what everyone's names and occupations are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, hold on. This is where the safety guy comes out a bit. When you're performing first aid on people, you're supposed to tell them your name and all that. And if you're performing first aid on somebody and someone more experienced comes up, you're supposed to hand everything over to them. So he's letting the guy know that I am qualified to do this. You're a doctor, so I'm going to hand it over to you. This is my name, and we can work together. That's like standard operating procedure for first aid. Continue.
I'd be fine with that if this was the first time in this movie that everyone had to exchange their life story credentials.
No, I'm just pointing things out. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Just pointing it out.
And I absolutely understand if some random guy came up to you and was like trying to help your epileptic wife, you'd want to know that they were a doctor. I understand.
Just like I said, just pointing these things out.
I'll take care of this. Don't worry, I've watched ER.
Yeah.
I'm an avid consumer of TV medical dramas.
The first thing I thought when I saw the doctor, though, was that his hair would slick back real nice. And it turned out absolutely true.
Yeah. Although he didn't used to be a piece of shit.
His hair was still slicked back.
About to be a piece of shit.
This is slick back. That's pushed back.
Yeah, it was still slicked back, so he hasn't, It isn't that the baby doesn't think he can change. The baby knows he hasn't changed.
I would have much rather watched that again than this thing.
Oh, yeah. I watched that thing like monthly. I watched the whole series. So Charles tells Jaren that his wife is having a seizure, as if he wouldn't already know this, being a nurse married to an epileptic person. He also calls Jaren Jack, and Jaren has to correct him. The seizing woman snaps out of it, and we find out her name is Patricia. Back with the Kappa family on the bus to go to the impossible to find beach. And subtly, M. Night himself is at the wheel.
There he is, the son of a bitch.
Well, look, he usually puts himself in there.
He does.
Nobody gets upset when Neil Breen does it, but when Shyamalan does it, all of a sudden it's a problem.
Should have been no less than 3 Shyamalans in the movie. Charles, Crystal, and her daughter and Agnes and the dog, they all get on the bus too. And Trent asks their names and occupations. They hit the road. Driver has to open an old rusty gate so they can proceed down a dirt road. Again, no alarm bells. Totally normal shit. They stop and unload the bus. Guy makes a big deal about how much food they have packed for them.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor asks the driver for help, and he's like, just shut up and go to the beach.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, we got this old ass woman and kids. Like, can we get some help? It's like, nah.
You'll be fine. You just keep going that way. So they walk through a trail, through the woods, through a narrow canyon, and finally emerge onto a beach that doesn't look any better than the beach they had earlier. They begin setting up, but the doctor spots a black guy, goes racist mode, and wants to move to a different area.
Yep.
This is the man who was watching the Skinny Dipper earlier.
Yep. And his favorite word is damn.
And, yeah, just like lots of different.
Just to really lean on the fact that,
Yeah, when the doctor saw him, he was, come on, honey, we'll have our sloppy steaks over here.
Oh man. Guy asks Priska what she's gonna do, and she just wants to read her book. The concept of reading a book on the beach seems completely alien to Guy, and he just stares at her. Priska asks Guy if he knows what she's reading, as if maybe him knowing this could save their marriage. I don't know.
It all hangs on this guy.
Of course he doesn't.
And that, was he supposed to know? Like, I didn't get that part. Like, had she told him before, or?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like that's like a woman thing. It's like, you should know what I'm reading.
But
if you showed any interest at all in me, you'd know what I was reading.
The novelization of Dumb and Dumber?
This is why I let that other guy plow me, because he knows what books I read.
Not the novelization, it's the shooting script. You know I read that shit.
He likes that I work in a museum.
Yeah.
Then he awkwardly tells Priska he wants to tell her something, but decides never mind, he'll tell her later. I don't think that comes back either. Unless it's the thing he tells her at the very end, but that would have been a weird time to say that too, so...
I did forget to mention, when they first walk onto the beach, I noticed this on my second playthrough, that when they walk onto the beach, the music, you can hear like a clock, like a second hand speeding up in the music.
Ooh.
Wow.
Just
somebody just hammer an Oscar down his throat right now.
Once again, not saying good or bad, just pointing it out.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the Shyamalan's not a complete talentless guy, I mean, he's made good movies. I think 2 for sure, 1, 3 maybe, depends on how you feel.
He's made great movies. I mean, probably 1 or 3 or 6. Let's stick with the 1.
Between 1 and 3. Between 1 and 3 good movies.
Let's be real here. It was 2. It was 2.
I'll give it.
It was 2, and I used to be a staunch defender of Signs because I liked it, but then I've realized that the only thing I really liked about Signs was the score. So it's really James Newton Howard that I like.
No, Signs is good.
It's got some scary moments for sure.
When he's watching the kids at the birthday party and the TV, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great moment.
Yeah, Vamanos children. It's wonderful. He gets to see the aliens.
Planet 75% water.
So?
I mean,
humans make stupider decisions than that. I mean,
that's true. And to be fair to him, like, the same kind of thing happened. He basically ripped off the ending of War of the Worlds, where, like, they just die by some bacteria.
Well, what came first, Signs or War of the World?
Oh, War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds by like a billion years.
Well, no, I was just talking about the movie. I wasn't talking about the
colossal prank committed on America.
Exactly. Yeah. But in the prank, is that the way the aliens died too? I've never listened to the whole thing. I'd be lying if I said I did.
I don't think the aliens die in the prank. I think that he just says, "I got you."
Okay, so then, all right. So then, what came first, War of the Worlds or
still the movie War of the Worlds?
No,
really?
in the novel. Well, yes. Wait, which one? There's been multiple. There's a novel. There's an H.G. Wells novel.
Not so cut and dry, is it?
I think even the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds was before Science.
No.
I don't know. Well, that's not important. That's not important,
I think it's
guys.
very important.
So Maddox suddenly becomes very animated because it turns out that the black guy on the beach that Charles was so afraid of is a rapper named Mid-Sized Sedan.
Mid-Sized Sedan.
Yeah.
It doesn't even follow any kind of like rapper name conventions. He's not like Lil Sedan or anything like that. Like that right there is better. Mid-Sized Sedan is nothing.
God damn it. What's his name? Rape Van.
Once again, as you get older, the car most people eventually settle into is the mid-size sedan.
I don't know what point you're trying to make with that.
I'm not making points. I'm just pointing things out.
He's not making points.
He's just pointing.
He's just stating things like this fucking movie does.
I said that in the beginning of the thing. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying that makes this movie great. I'm just saying maybe that was the choice. I don't know. Maybe that's
what's the name of that new rapper you like, sweetie? Sensible economy car that gets me from point A to point B.
I mean, that's basically what rapper. He put without having to put all that. I mean, look, I'm just trying to think of reasoning behind such things. That's all.
I mean, I personally think it's probably because M. Night's just a nerd. That's the best I can think of for a rapper. But
I did get a kick out of the tattoos they put on him. He actually had mid-size sedan on one of the tattoos and all. I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh man,
because I thought they were real. I thought they were his tattoos at first, but then when they zoomed in on him, I was like, oh, they went through the trouble of making a fake tattoo that said mid-size sedan on it.
I mean, this is a professional production. You know, this is a real Hollywood movie. So it's a theatrical film. Yeah, gotta get the tattoos on there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm starting to think that because this was done during COVID and no one could like meet or do anything, that this whole movie was written by Twitch.
Maybe. Possible.
Maybe. Although, I mean,
pretty insensitive for somebody who just had a seizure on them.
I did start to wonder if maybe it was going to be like a satire, because there were elements that felt kind of satiric, like Crystal talking about her calcium deficiency and mid-sized sedan.
I would say, or a rapper named Mid-Size Sedan.
Yeah, I was like, this has got to be like he's trying to be funny, right?
Yeah,
but
it gets funny. It gets goddamn hilarious.
I've unintentionally though. I would imagine. Anyway, so Maddox needs to go over there and tell Mid-Sized Sedan how much his hit song "More Dough for the Cookin'" means to her.
Yeah, it's because he's a fucking nerd.
Exactly. He's just a nerd. He couldn't come up with anything else. He's never heard a rapping song.
No.
Yeah, I can't think of any bullshit reason why that's
But her dad just tells her to leave him alone. All the kids are having a great time exploring caves, playing freeze tag, and games of house that are hitting really close to home for Guy and Priska.
Yeah.
The kids say they're really hungry and run off and find a bunch of old garbage.
Start eating that.
Just munching on it. There's like toys and silverware from the resort. Then they start playing hide and seek. Trent's hiding in the water behind some rocks and gets a little nudge from a floating dead body.
Yeah.
He runs off screaming, and Guy and the doctor pull the body out of the water. And it's the naked lady who was with Mid-Size Sedan, and she's dead as hell.
Yeah.
All the adults gather around the corpse, and Mid-Size Sedan comes over bleeding from the nose, and he's absolutely hysterical. He's like, "Oh damn."
Yeah.
He tells them he doesn't know what happened to her, that she swam out by herself, and that he was waiting for her to come back, and to avoid any kind of suspicion, he staunchly refuses to tell them anything else.
Well, don't say anything without a lawyer. I mean,
I guess so.
I would do the same thing. I ain't saying shit. Am I being detained?
These aren't police.
It doesn't matter.
They're going to eventually make statements.
Yeah. Look,
but what he really seems
body?
to be, I mean, but ultimately, like, we find out later on in the movie, he's mostly just concerned about people finding out that he, like, has a blood clotting condition. Like, that's the worst possible thing that people could know about him.
I just want to go on record.
You'll lose his street cred.
I just want to let people know, like, I feel like it's important. Don't say shit without a lawyer. Anytime they bring you in that room, you clam up, especially if there's a dead body involved. You only say lawyer. That's my PSA for that episode.
The more you know.
Exactly. They ain't your friends.
Yeah, no matter how many donuts and coffee and shit they give you.
They'll give it to you. You want a lawyer. Anyway.
I agree with Blake.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, can you believe this motherfucker got a blood clotting condition?
I think it was more I think it was because he wasn't like a street kid, because he started talking to the daughter and he was talking about how like he grew up in a nice place and all that.
Yeah,
I think it was more of that he was ashamed of for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, so he's the nerd that's never listened to a rap.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
Maybe that's it. He just got lucky.
So Agnes, the old lady, starts complaining that her chest feels funny, and Crystal starts bitching about how they should have just gotten a yacht like she wanted, because now they're caught up in some kind of island issue. Which is those are her words. Island issue was hers. So yeah. I thought that was very funny.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Then Trent starts complaining that his swimsuit's hurting him. There's another round of who's your daddy and what does he do, as Guy explains his ability to rattle off statistics on how people die on vacation by telling Mid-Size Sedan that he's an insurance actuary. Mm-hmm. So that's just knowledge that you have now.
Yeah.
That doesn't do anything. Jaren and Patricia wander onto the beach, explaining they had planned to come earlier, but they wanted to rest after the seizure. And everyone has to explain to them that they've come at a really bad time. Charles discovers
we've got an island issue going on right now.
There's a serious island issue. Charles discovers there's no cell reception, and Jaren says the guy that dropped them off already left. Charles keeps giving Midsize the old eyes, the suspicion eyes. And then the hits just keep coming as Crystal runs around the corner screaming that there's something wrong with Charles's mom. Jared decides he's going to go back out to the clearing and try to get a call through, but he just wakes up back on the beach, being told that he stumbled out holding his head and passed out. Agnes now tells Charles not to worry about her, and she knows he's been stressed. And then Priska comes up and asks Charles to take a look at Trent, but he's fucking busy with his mom dying. And Priska's like, but I work at a museum. Don't you trust me now?
We have to establish trust. That's step one of an island situation.
Yes.
And while they're looking away, Agnes dies. And Charles decides her heart exploded because she saw a dead lady.
Yeah. Of course.
Just couldn't take it. We cut over to Trent getting the names and occupations of all the new people that arrived.
Yeah, through all of this, I was in my head acting.
Yeah, Charles does really put it on. He's like, she just couldn't take the stress.
She was in shock. That's what happened.
The dog died.
Not yet, he didn't.
No. How did the dog outlive the woman? The dog should be like blasting through its life.
Well, hold on. The dog did blast through its life.
It did. It died several minutes after the old lady.
Maybe the lady's ticker was only going to last another month anyway. The dog could have still lived a couple of years.
Well, the dog didn't go through several increasingly financial burdensome, surgeries like dogs do. It just straight up died. Thus the prompt of, it was just alive.
As are most things that are now dead.
So we already met Jaren, the nurse, and find out Patricia is a psychologist. This whole time, old M. Night is taking pains to avoid giving us a good look at any of the children. And Jaren decides to show off.
We know what's happening. Just show it.
He has to assume no one's seen a trailer, I guess.
Right.
Jaren wants to try out his skills from his time back at the county fair and decides to guess the kids' ages because he's good at it. He guesses that Trent's 11, but he's only 6. Jaren and Patricia decide that the kids are just messing with them. And then Priska comes up asking if anyone has seen her children.
Doesn't recognize her own children.
Yeah. I'm like, Jaren and Patricia just get even more pissed and confused. Like, Priska knows everyone on the beach at this point. Who does she think these two random kids wearing her children's bathing suits are? If not her children. The horrible truth slowly dawns on her, and Trent runs up and gives her a hug. Guy walks up saying they should leave, and then also gets hit by this semi-truck of truth. Midsize decides now's the time and fucking full speed tears ass back to the canyon. Charles sees him and decides that's the admission of guilt he's been looking for, and he starts chasing after him. They both freak out and grab their heads and wake up back on the beach. Everyone comes over saying they need to get out of here, and Jaren helpfully reminds them that they can't go that specific way because everyone that did blacked out. Jaren is very helpful.
Blackout band.
He's good at telling everybody things they already know. So they all come up with plans. They split up and try to find another way, but they all end up just waking up on the beach again. Priska pulls Guy aside and just runs down the whole situation again for no one's benefit. Like, we all know this stuff. She's like, we're stuck on a beach and there's a doctor and we can't get off. We've established these things. Thank you, Priska. Maybe that's her living in the past that Guy hates so much.
Ah, there it is.
God damn.
This is your job, Blake.
Bitch.
Charles just randomly pulls out a knife and slashes Mid-Sized Sedan's face for no reason. Old Mid-Sized is understandably upset.
I thought he was going to break into my house.
Jesus Christ. So what did you guys think? Were you theorizing like what was going on with him?
It wasn't until later that it hit me. Like, I just thought he was being racist at that point.
At this, I mean, before, when they were running through, the calcium deficiency and all this stuff, I was like picking out, okay, that's going to come back when they get older. That's going to come back when they get older. That's going to come back when they get older. I just figured this guy was working on dementia. Yeah. And here it comes.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was going to be Alzheimer's or dementia or something. Yeah. So Charles just doesn't even know why he did that.
Because at this point they've already have they established that because he was the big time doctor, but they won't let him practice anymore, and he like, do not say why.
Yeah, they didn't do the little like group session yet, but
that hasn't happened.
I don't think I even caught that. I mean,
I thought she was talking about like erectile dysfunction. So
they won't let me do surgery anymore because my dick won't get hard.
Well, because he was like, so I like, don't say nothing about it.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Maybe I am the idiot that you described at the beginning of this podcast. Dude don't want to talk about dick problems. What's the matter with that?
Let the man's soft penis alone.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Gonna tell these strangers?
Oh man. When Mid-Size finally gives Jaren a look at the cut, it's completely healed.
Ooh.
And then the old lady's dog dies. Even though it was only just alive.
Impossible.
I'm sorry, but I whenever the cut healed, I immediately went to like how I would be if I just got that information, and I would full on try to be Wolverine for the whole rest of the time I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys want to start a fight club?
I'd be going out of my way to injure myself.
Oh man. So they bat around the idea of trying to swim out around the cove and find another beach, but they decide it's too far and the water's too rough. Mid-Sized and Maddox go take a little walk, and he confides that the occupations of his parents it's like, was his mom an attorney and his dad's a dentist or something, and that he has a rare blood disorder, and he came to the island to feel connected to something bigger than himself, and really like just laying it all out there. And Maddox tells him that she can see more colors now.
I didn't get that part.
It was another thing that they did a couple times, right? When they first find the dead body, they're like naming colors for some reason. I didn't know what that was.
I don't get
They're also trying to think of that Jack Nicholson movie.
Yeah, one with him and Brando.
Which damn movie? Was it Missouri? It's Missouri something. Missouri Breaks or
Missouri Island Situation.
Patricia pulls everyone together for some team building exercises. introductions and sharing session. And then just Priska passes out because it turns out she had a big ass tumor that's now the size of a softball. They weigh the option of doing an impromptu abdominal tumor removal surgery on a beach with nothing but a dull pocket knife that already has someone else's blood on it, and they decide to go for it.
Yep. Okay. I don't want to skip ahead. Mm-hmm. But later in the movie, they make a really fucking big deal about infection. And while they're doing this surgery, because everyone's Wolverine now, their knee-jerk reaction is, shove your fingers into her.
Now, am I wrong, but didn't he ask for alcohol?
Yes. I never saw them use it, though.
Doesn't matter. He brought it up. Everybody knows that the mere mention of alcohol in a movie, everything is totally sterile.
It makes germs run away.
Yep.
Yeah, the germs are all just like, hey, beat it. It's the alcohol.
All the fucking sand and grit that they're jamming into her fucking body cavity.
Everybody knows if you were just to dip a scalpel in Sweet Buffalo Trace whiskey and immediately pull it out, it is totally disinfected.
That's why after the initial incision, he refused to actually show really any more of it because he knew it was all horseshit.
Right.
Maybe. I guess.
If I don't show it, no one can call me on how fucking stupid this is.
He wrote the dumbest surgery scene I've ever seen.
Was the surgery scene in the graphic novel?
I don't know.
Well, let's find out, because if so, maybe he had to put it in there because, I mean, it's part of the fucking thing.
Well, I doubt
be his fault.
I mean, for one thing, all right, really quick, he makes an incision, it heals immediately. So Jaren's like, everybody, put your fingers inside her body and hold the cut open so we can get the tumor out. And then the entire surgery lasts, 1 minute? I mean, this is like
maybe
something that probably takes hours. And then the nurse and the doctors both seem to be surprised that it's attached to something. Like, what do you think tumors are?
Just free floating in there.
They're just loose.
It's loose in there, just jiggling, jaggling around.
It's got extra shit in there, bouncing around.
You just poke a little hole and just shake it out.
So they just like pinch that bad boy off, and then she wakes up and everything's fine. Awful.
Yeah, that would only cement my plans to be Wolverine.
Oh yes, but before making the first incision, Charles suddenly becomes obsessed with trying to remember the name of a movie with Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando in it, and this doesn't stop. It gets increasingly funnier every time he brings it up.
Right.
Seriously, from here on, slap a laugh track on this bitch.
Yes, especially when he mentions this movie. Everyone's like absolutely losing their shit, and he's like, hang on, does anybody remember this name of this movie? It had Brando and Nicholson. It's great. So for some reason, mid-sized sedan decides he wants another look at that dead body, and
I think because he was smart, he was figuring it out. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a cut healed on his face. The lady healed up real quick, so he wanted to see what happened to the dead body. I think that's pretty logical.
Yeah, maybe the dead body healed.
Well, not healed, but I mean, it's pretty logical to want to go check. I didn't see a problem with it.
I guess I don't know.
I mean, obviously, weird shit is happening.
Yeah. So he throws that towel off and immediately starts just like pissing and shitting everywhere. He calls everyone over to look. He's more freaked out now than when she first showed up dead. The body is just bones, and they roughly determine that 7 years have passed in 3 hours.
Because she works at a museum.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's seen what bones do over time.
Look, I see it. I work at a museum. I've seen bones.
I've seen a bone or two, okay?
I wear a watch. I understand time. But
I'm resigning from the bank.
Jaren, always the observant one, opines that something is going on with time on this beach. Just killing it, Jaren.
He knows that because he was in Lost.
Right.
Oh, man. He knows, as a nurse, he encounters a lot of time. So, Kara and Trent are hanging out together in the towel fort they made earlier. And,
yeah, that's when I was like, no, don't do that.
They're getting pretty close.
Yeah.
Here's where Chase almost threw up his hands and said, that's it, I'm out.
Like, you know, and I guess the only way that it wasn't like two children having sex was because the girl had a throwaway comment that even the way I think is different. Like, no, you're 6.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have put that in there.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No. So all the adults finally decide that 30 minutes is like a year on this beach, and the kids are always hungry because their mass is changing and their hair and nails aren't affected because those aren't living cells, and just like, this is the kind of shit that I just could do without in a movie like this. I'd prefer things like weird and ambiguous than trying to...
I laughed. Like, to me, I was like, this is Shyamalan's way of keeping us from asking these questions when we do this show. Why is their hair growing?
The whole cast becomes the jump to conclusions gang, and everything they say is true.
Yeah. Right. Yes. They do eventually, like, get a theory as to why the beach does this, and it turns out they're exactly right. I'm like, what? You guys didn't have any scientific equipment out there.
There's no scientists
at a museum.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
You forgot that guy. He used to wipe up the loads at the local bathhouse. He knows.
Yeah,
that knowledge comes in handy.
My name's Bill. I wiped up the loads.
Motherfucker, this
wiped up the loads.
I mean, okay, so all this could have been solved. Instead of having a rapper, maybe Mid-Size Sedan could have been a geologist, and then it would have been okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they all should have just said, maybe if we all close our eyes and spin around 3 times and walk out, it won't have any effect on us anymore, and it would have happened.
Yeah, this is Jaren's idea. Maybe if we just do a 5-minute walk take 8 to 10 hours, maybe we would get out. I was like, that long?
It wasn't that bad of an idea. It really wasn't that bad of an idea.
I mean, I guess when you're
with the bends and all that stuff.
When you're in a life and death situation, you just gotta try stuff, I guess.
Yeah, you try stuff. Like, I wouldn't have abandoned just trying to run through that whatever it is, crack at that point.
Yeah,
I would have kept trying to shoot the hole.
That's rule number 2 in an island situation. Establish trust, then try stuff.
Yeah. Shoot the hole. I would have tried that a few times, like maybe getting a running start. And tie a rope around me in case I do make it, and then I can just drag everybody else through when they're unconscious. Try things.
Yeah. So they finally realize that they don't know where any of the kids are. But Mid-Size Sedan spots Kara eating handfuls of pasta salad. And when they all approach, they make the disturbing discovery that these two have been on some full penetrative sex, and Trent's occupation is not pulling out.
Yeah.
So there's like, I guess at this point I wanted to mention something about the cinematography, how it's like mostly fine, but there are a bunch of like really weird choices made sometimes about blocking and like the camera pushing in on random parts of the frame.
There's a lot of weird snap zooms.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Bizarre times for no clear reason. And then like actors.
Maybe it was a metaphor.
I guess. If you're being generous. Actors delivering lines from like a very small sliver of space at the edge of the frame, and like the camera just like loses characters all the time. Like just pans away from everybody and then pans back. Just odd choices. So everyone starts freaking out about the pregnant 6-year-old. And this is when Charles is like, it had Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando.
Perfect time for a laugh.
Very funny. So like a couple minutes later, Kara goes into labor. Crystal freaks out and tries to make a run for it, but winds up back on the beach again. Just in time to hear the cries of the newborn and get back there just as the baby dies.
Mm-hmm.
All in one long tracking shot. What did Patricia said it died because from no attention,
which that was so stupid. Lack of attention because she set it down on the towel for just a second. No, you could have easily said it starved to death because it didn't get fed quick enough.
No, it died because it thought people couldn't change.
Can't believe you'd have me on this beach next to this piece of shit.
Yeah, you realize real quick, this piece of shit ain't changing.
Oh, man. So one of the differences I know about the graphic novel in this is that the baby survives, and it's ultimately the last survivor on the beach.
Oh.
As it would be.
Right. So Crystal tells Maddox some pointless story about how she used to date a guy named Giuseppe. Really misses.
He had a monkey and an organ grind that he used to grind out on the corner.
And he had the thickest mustache in all of Venice.
And still forgetting that she's talking to like a 9-year-old. and I'd ride that clit broom all night. Oh wait, how old are you again? Shit.
Oh, damn it. It's been 15 minutes. You're old enough.
Yeah, have I told you how my husband's dick doesn't work anymore?
Not a problem with Giuseppe, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Giuseppe's blowing somebody's back out right now.
Oh, man. So then Charles just stabs mid-sized sedan to death out of fucking nowhere. But at least Maddox will be able to tell the world what his parents did for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's able to get the knife from Charles, and Jaren finally decides just to try the swimming idea anyway, because he was on the swim team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, shockingly, it's not because he used to be a swim instructor or a lifeguard or something. But he was on the swim team.
I'd also like to point out that ocean swimming and swimming in a pool at high school is the exact same thing.
Yes.
There's no difference at all.
None. Just like doing surgery in a fully stocked surgical facility is
Correct.
exactly the same as doing it on a filthy beach with a bunch of people.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
They just do that to get get all that insurance money. It's all a scam.
100%.
Germs don't exist.
Germ theory's just a theory.
That's right. I mean, have you ever seen a germ?
I know I haven't.
I haven't. Chase, have you seen a germ?
No.
Wow.
Boom.
You just solved it.
I can't believe we've done it. Where's our Nobel Prize?
I'm going to play Blake here for a second. The germs being living things, are they susceptible to the time magic?
Ooh.
Interesting.
I mean, I would imagine anything living on that beach, because they make a deal about there not being fish, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Right.
Yeah. Would germs be able to propagate fast enough if they're like blasting through their little germ lives?
But they'd be dying really fast too.
Yeah, exactly. So they'd probably just die out. If there's like no people on the beach for even an hour, they'd probably all die.
Yeah.
So shit, looks like we owe old M. Night an apology until later when that
beach
doesn't
is totally
work.
Well, the beach is totally sterile is all I'm saying.
Yeah. God, okay. Guy suggests trying to climb up the rocks, but they decide that's too dangerous.
Yeah, we're all gonna die. Let's not do something stupid, guy.
They finally realized that all the groups had someone with a medical condition, and they think they were chosen for this place. And then Maddox has a conversation with Priska about how they were going to divorce, and Maddox gets upset and goes into the ocean. And then since corpses just have a way of finding people out here, Jaren's corpse bumps into Maddox.
It's the minerals and the magnetic fields.
Yeah. And mid-sized sedan is finally off the hook for that first girl's murder because they decide that what happened to Jaren is what happened to that other girl. Kara and Trent talk about all the things they never got to do, and while Trent is trying to bury their baby's bones, just like rattling around inside a blanket, Kara decides to give the climbing thing a try. She makes it up pretty high, almost to the top, but blacks out and falls to her death. Patricia then has the idea of swimming out on 3 pool noodles tied together.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm a therapist.
Oh. We find out her sister's occupation, that she's also a therapist, and how she wants to patch things up with her. But unfortunately, Patricia then has 1,000 seizures and dies. Oh, man. So then Guy realizes his vision is deteriorating, and Priska realizes her hearing in one ear is gone. And then Crystal gets a hump on her back, as prophesied. And cries out for her calcium like a lousy junkie.
Oh,
She's
my
like,
sweet calcium!
Calcium! Guy tells Priska he knew she was seeing someone else, and tells her she deserves better than that guy. Trent and Maddox are digging through all the trash they found earlier, hoping to find something to burn for a fire. And they find a journal from some other person stuck there, who seems to know exactly why the beach works this way.
Yeah, it's the script.
It's like, oh shit, it's the rocks. The rocks do it. It's the special minerals in the rocks. Trent has an idea about making a metal tube that they can wear to get through the canyon. But that's obviously idiot talk.
Well, he's 6.
So then it's pitch black out. Charles retrieves his knife again and sneaks up on Guy, who can't see anything, and Priska, who can't hear anything, and starts slashing at them because he's afraid they'll rat on him for murdering Midsize Sedan. Priska runs off, so he's slashing him, and Guy's healing, and so he can just stay there and slash at him for like half an hour.
Yeah, Guy tells Priska, run away. I'll protect you by just like leaning my big dumb face into this knife.
I'll take the
knife.
It's
going to allow this guy to carve me up and do nothing to try to stop this.
Doesn't at one point he tells her like, tell me where to put my hand, like, or tell me where he's at or something like that. Like
yeah,
it's a stupid plan.
You're not blind as a bat. I mean,
yeah, he can still. We get his POV. He can. Things are kind of blurry, but he's not.
Yeah,
like,
how about go towards the slashing feeling?
Just tackle him.
But I don't understand, why does Charles... I mean, he just went in on Midsize Sedan with the stabs.
Well, his Alzheimer's is, like, getting worse.
Yeah,
Forgot how to kill.
Can we just spoil it? He's paranoid schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yes.
That's what they say.
I thought he had Alzheimer's.
No, he's paranoid schizophrenic.
How did I miss that in 2 viewings?
I'll tell you when we get to it.
Am I really an idiot?
We'll get to it. I don't want to ruin the whole movie for our listeners.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. It just hit me. Yeah. You're right. Got it. Not an idiot. Got it. Yes.
The kids run into a cave where Crystal is hiding, in the dark, screaming at them not to look at him. Look at her.
Best part of the movie. Best part of the movie.
This was gold right here.
Trent like lights a match to see her better, and she's like a shambling monster now. She starts like coming at him, throwing shit. She raises a rock over her head and drops it on herself, breaking her own arm. Which then heals in an odd position. So she's now chasing him through the cave with like screwed up arm bones, smashing herself into the walls, breaking more bones.
When she started rolling around, it was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they go through a little tiny tunnel, and she's trying to crawl after him, and she's like, every time she breaks a bone, she thrashes in pain and just breaks more, and then it ends, and she looks like when Peter Griffin falls down the fucking stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trent lights like a final match, illuminating Crystal's twisted, mangled body, which looks like
I laughed my ass off at this. I paused it on this so I could see it better because it was so dumb looking. Because they did it. They did it in such a way where they composed it to where you can see all 4 of her limbs to make sure that you know they're all fucked beyond shit.
It was awesome. I'm sorry. I loved it.
Just like these dumb feet back behind it. God, it was stupid.
She looked like a dead spider.
Yes. A balled up tarantula in a air conditioned duct.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh man. So Priska runs back to help Guy, and I guess she found a knife in all the junk that was on the beach.
Yeah.
And slashes Charles' arm. And because M. Night does not trust his audience, as we've discussed, Priska yells at Charles, "It's rust! It acts like poison when it gets into your bloodstream." Which
poison kills you.
Yeah,
and over time, you will die.
Dying is something you don't want to happen to you.
Whenever the girl was breaking herself in the cave, the Maddox even says her bones are setting in the wrong place. Yeah, they are. So a little too much explanation.
A little. Also, this bit about the rust is just not true. Rust doesn't poison your blood. It doesn't give you tetanus. And even if he got tetanus from this cut, it certainly doesn't look like his skin immediately starts rotting or whatever.
Would he just die?
He would
just die or something because it happens. So if it's working so fast,
yeah, I mean, it would be more realistic if he just starts shitting his pants, because like tetanus will give you like bloody diarrhea or whatever. It certainly doesn't do this. So now the Kappa family are the only ones remaining on the beach. They're sitting together by the fire, listening to the ocean. Guy and Priska have now become old.
Oh, shit.
Maddox sings the song to her mom, paying off one of those earliest scenes in the movie. They really made minimal effort on the old age makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the impression that they're supposed to be like in their 80s or something, and they look maybe late 50s.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Like, Gael Garcia Bernal is in his 40s, so they just like, boom, give him crow's feet, call it 90s. Yep. I don't know. It's dog shit. Guy, whose mind is failing him, and Priska have a little conversation it's kind of sweet. Guy wants to tell her he loves her, but can't remember the word. Guy,
it's kind of sweit if it wasn't done so ham-fistedly.
Yeah, for sure.
I honestly liked when he said, "I forget why we wanted to get off this beach anyway," or whatever. I like that part.
It would have been fine if all he would have said was, "Were we fighting about something?" And she said no, and then he just smiled and looked at her. That would have been fine. But
yeah,
I don't remember anymore. I don't. Why were we getting off this beach? We were talking about minerals, weren't we? Shut up. Just say the one fucking line and be done with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That there's a decent movie in here. If there was like a real vision about what it's supposed to be about, like he really tried to like ride right straight down the middle of the street of like B-movie, like body horror exploitation thing, and a movie trying to say something about like spending time with your family and making the most of things and all this kind of shit, and failed at both.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
I told John this before we started recording. If anyone is a fan of Sunny in Philadelphia, in the episodes where they try to make more Lethal Weapon movies, and Mac insists that they spill out everything because it'll just go over the audience's head, that's exactly what this movie is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no room for any kind of subtlety or
it treats the audience as if they were a child who just became old and they're actually still a child.
Therein lies the genius, Chase.
Yeah. You were old enough to get into this movie, but you're still mentally a child, so let me roll it all out for you.
It's a metaphor.
So
programmable DNA.
Guy then dies, and Priska just dies a few moments later.
He just falls right off the bed.
Yeah, he does.
Slips in the tub. The sun rises on middle-aged Trent and Maddox, who reckon they've got about 13 hours left to live. And they should probably still find a way off the beach, I guess. But first, sand castles! Fun in the sun!
Well, the graphic novel was called Sandcastle.
Right.
That's true. So, and I guess
I thought...
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I was figuring that was the only reason they did it.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
It was. I hope your sandcastle doesn't contain too much human remains. Just while the body's rotting on the beach. Maddox asks Trent if he thinks...
wait, real quick.
Yeah,
Real quick.
Yeah.
The other two dying, and then these two talking about how, should we keep trying escaping or not, should have been the first ending of this movie.
Yeah.
Because now we're going to return to the king this shit. And it's just going to never end.
So many endings. The
movie should have ended just now.
Yeah, there's like half an hour left or something at this point in the movie. It's wild.
Yeah, it could have ended here. It could have.
And I think the graphic novel does end here. It ends with that baby who's like a kid now making a sandcastle on the beach, all alone. That's the end of that book. And like apparently there's so the whole time they've kind of been able to see like a glint up on a crest on a mountain, and like they decide it's a camera and stuff, so they know they're being observed. And I guess that happens in the comic too, but you never really find out what's going on. Like it's just a sort of weird, ambiguous thing. Okay. But Shyamalan had to answer the question of why.
Oh yeah, the rest of the movie is pure, unadulterated, full penetration Shyamalan.
So Maddox asked Trent if he thinks that all adults still feel like kids in their minds, or just them, since they were kids just yesterday. Trent then remembers he has a message from Idlib that he never decoded, and I'm immediately mad because I know this is the key to everything. Right. I'm like, fuck you. Trent gets the note, starts decoding, reminding us that this was something that he and Idlib did all the time over the course of their one-day friendship. The message.
Now, I just want to say, just to show how stupid I am. So maybe that whole thing holds water. I guess that I'm just an idiot. Because the whole time he's figuring out the message, I was like, oh, is Madlib gonna remember him whenever they get there? Because he's gonna be old now. And then I was like, no, he wasn't on the beach. Stupid. Because I was expecting him to go like find him, and he's an old man too. But stupid ass.
The message says, "My uncle doesn't like the coral," which is a very weird message for him to have written.
Yeah. How about, hey, swim through the coral, or hey, don't go to that beach.
Yeah, I mean,
I have 42 conch shells.
If he knows about the beach, he should have been clearer about his message. But if he doesn't really know about the beach, and this is just sort of information he got from osmosis, I don't know why he would just make a coded message that says this.
Well, they were two weird kids, so
yeah, they were big freaks. So that of course means that the coral is the solution to these people stuck on the beach.
The coral is the metal tube.
They actually say the coral is the metal tube.
Quick, make a suit out of the coral.
So Trent and Maddox dash into the ocean. They find a cave in the coral to swim through, and Trent starts feeling a little weird in his head, but Maddox somehow got her shirt double knotted around some coral.
Does anybody else, when y'all watching movies, as soon as people go underwater, you hold your breath too to see if you could do it?
I've done it before.
I have done that.
And let me tell you something. Alien Resurrection, they should all be dead.
Well, yeah. Well,
they were underwater for like a half an hour.
So these two should be dead as well, because, that's something I always do. Well, somebody goes underwater, I rewind it and try to hold my breath with them, and they'd be dead. David Blaine, they are not.
That Mission Impossible, where that underwater Mission Impossible one, I forget which one that is. You know the one?
Yeah, the underwater one. The one with the island scenario.
Anyway, that one's impossible mode.
Well, it is Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Come on, man.
I'm looking up what the longest someone can hold their breath is.
It's pretty long, but that's if you're training for it.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, free divers can hold their breath for a really, really long time, but they train for it every day of their lives.
Get fucked. This says 24 minutes.
Dude, I'm telling you, free divers can do it. So anyway, there you go.
That's an insane amount of time.
Also, a free diver holding their breath isn't moving at all.
Aren't they swimming?
They're not. No, free divers, they'll hold on to like an anchor and go down, and then an air balloon brings them back up. But
so they're literally only doing this to hold their breath for a long time.
Yeah, and see how deep they can go. So, but you're not swimming, because obviously swimming is going to pump oxygen through your veins and all that. You get so you can't hold your breath as long. That's why they tell you in a survival situation, if you end up in the water, just calm down. You'll be able to hold your breath longer.
That's step 3 of island situation.
Yes.
Establish trust, try stuff, and calm down.
Yes. I think actually the
step 4 is start stabbing.
Yeah, the technical term is calm the fuck down, but
step 5, the answer is the coral.
Make a metal tube is the stuff.
Decode Idlib's message. There's always an idlib. There's always a message.
Yes.
So now we enter the POV of someone watching the coral through binoculars. And it turns out it's old M. Night himself. And we get a big ol' info dump. He calls the base to inform them that Trent and Maddox drowned. He knows this because he waited a whole minute and a half. It's literally impossible for them to have survived.
A quick Google search could have shown that somebody can hold their breath over 20 minutes.
I mean, it also said that, like, I think it said something like the average person can hold it about a minute and a half.
That sounds about right.
But why assume? Wait for a couple more minutes.
Yeah, nothing else is going on.
He's got shit to do. He's on that grind, you know? One previous subject had made it through the coral, but then they drowned. So he declares Trial 73's observation complete and packs up his gear. Gets on his bus, drives back to the base, and when he gets there, we start seeing a bunch of science-type stuff. They got a big rock in a glass case, telling us that they were all right about the rocks being the reason. Mm-hmm. So the German shows up and pulls all the scientists together, and he gives us the full picture of what's been going on. And
we get the big pharma ending.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not really a twist, right? Because, like,
it's just an explanation.
Yeah, it doesn't change the context of anything that happened before. Yeah. So he calls for a moment of silence for the people they've just murdered. The members of Trial 73. So if each trial had a similar number of subjects, these guys are responsible for like 700 people's deaths.
Yeah.
But how many did they save? That's the big question. Let the
courts decide that.
So he explains to a room of people who already know all of this that they used the beach nature gave them to test long-term effects of medicines in just a single day. One of the scientists explains that Patricia, who died of a bunch of seizures, had been cured of her epilepsy by them.
Yeah. Well, it outlasted what a normal lifespan would be.
Yeah, 8 years, I think they said. No, not 8 years. Stupid.
They said it was the equivalent of 16 and a half years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's pretty good medicine.
Sure.
I'm on board with these people.
What?
Yeah. I mean, look. Hold on. Follow me for a second.
All right.
You got to test medicine to make sure it works.
Uh-huh.
And if you can test it quickly and efficiently, go for it.
But
and
it's not efficient.
Sure it is.
This is
They're
not
doing
efficient.
it in a day. It's a day.
Yeah, but it's only one person at a time.
Yeah. No, they tried a bunch of people. Just that batch didn't work.
Yeah. Okay, but the
there was
one that
more than
does
one
work,
person on the beach.
The one that did work, they have to give it to a bunch of other people to see if it actually will work for like on a mass scale.
No, that's not how it works. Real medicine says if it works one time, it works all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. John, listen to Mengele over here. He knows what he's talking about.
So, you know, I see it as, well, since you made that comparison, I guess the next thing I'm going to say isn't going to be great, but, you know, you're thinning the herd.
Just do it.
Yeah, it's a solution.
You gotta break a few eggs.
The final solution.
To me, you're getting rid of a bunch of idiots because they all just answered like some chainmail thing and ended up at a resort. So like, it's the same. You know, it's the people trying to like. You get a call about your extended warranty, and you're like, "Oh, really? Let me check." Like, it's those people who died.
Okay, so but now they know the medicine works on idiots, but they have to find out if it works on smart people too.
Well, at least they know that we got something that works on idiots. Now let's test it on smart people. And you gotta like how this pharmaceutical company, their delivery system, instead we don't give out pills, we give out Mai Tais, man. It's like fancy drinks with umbrellas. That's your medicine. I'm on board with these people.
But you know what? They also could have completely overlooked really effective medicines because the time goes by so fast.
They've tried them all. Every one of them. This is the last resort.
It's like maybe this thing would have worked weekly, but that went by in a blink of an eye, so they missed it. I don't know. It's just this really fucking stupid way to test medicine.
But nature gave it to them. I mean, what else are you gonna do? What else are you gonna do with an island where people age fast?
Yeah, this is honestly on nature for this.
I mean, it was put there for a reason. Maybe the Earth knew that people would need medicine that needed to be tested rapidly.
Yeah. Specifically by a pharmaceutical conglomerate so they could make tons and tons of money. Nature intended.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm just saying sometimes you got to crack a few eggs. That's all I'm saying.
They should just call the place The Last Resort.
Yes.
And give them one last chance to figure it out before. And if you walk into that place, it's over.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, let's be honest.
Just have a nice resort and tell them the truth, and just like, hey, why don't you try some drugs while you're here?
You know what? Honestly, you know how many people would do that? Look, I know you got like this crazy, like, well, maybe for maybe not like seizures, but like a terminal disease. Hey, man, come to this awesome resort. We're gonna try some drugs. It might work, might not, but at least you get a free trip out of it. I would do it.
100%. People try drugs without the promise of resorts all the time. That's how they do medicine.
Well, I don't know who come up with the Dayquil high blood pressure formula, but that shit makes you see colors, and that's the other PSA announcement. You want to see colors when you're going to sleep. Dayquil high blood pressure.
Damn.
Just saying.
All right, can we wrap this fucking thing
up?
Yeah. This should not have been a 2-hour episode.
Sorry. Almost done. So yeah, like I said, this doesn't work for me. They could just work within the confines of the scientific method and medical ethics and do human trials with willing patients and observe the results. This is dumb.
But then Shyamalan wouldn't have a career.
Yeah. Instead of this giant, like, genocidal enterprise. Anyway, the gist is that the pharmaceutical company uses targeted advertising on sick people to get them to come to the resort, which is a front for this experimental drug thing in their drinks. And then they also don't care if they bring along their non-sick, like, family members.
Yeah.
And this is like another moment where that felt like it was trying to be a satire, where one of the scientists is like, hey, maybe we shouldn't put the violent schizophrenics on the beach with the other people. And the guy's like, well, I don't know if I could float it upstairs, but I'm like, what? So back at the resort, Idlib's chilling, and German comes over and fucks up his whole vibe and tells him his friends went home and they sucked anyway and shut up.
Go play with those other kids over there.
Yeah, we're not going to kill those kids. Go play with them. A man's trying to enjoy himself out on a terrace and someone just slides up on him and asks if he's a police officer.
This is the cop from the beginning.
Right.
I don't remember him from the beginning.
Yeah, remember when they were on the beach? They were interrogating everyone what their careers were, and the guy said he was a cop.
Yeah, you're right.
Was a cop.
Okay, all right, sure. And he hands him the book that they found on the beach that has all the names of the other people that were on the beach. Out front, a bus pulls up with some fresh sickos. Someone knocks the cocktails out of Madrid's hands. And off screen, for some reason, tells everyone their names like we don't fucking know. Trent and Maddox, they made it. Idlib overhears and is like, what the fuck? And heads over there. Meanwhile, Trent's telling everyone who they are and the occupations of everyone they were there with. The scientists in the lab see the feed on the security camera, and it doesn't take one of themselves to know that they're fucked.
Oh no, all the crimes we've committed.
The human trafficking.
The stolen cars.
I just knew it would come back to bite us. Idlib steps up and Trent pulls out the coded message, and we cut back to where we last left Trent and Maddox in the coral. And
can I say that, I'm sorry, I just have to say, whenever he pulled out the message and showed it to the kid, I was halfway expecting the evil dude to just shoot that kid in the head.
That would have been
he's
wild.
The one that fucked up this whole operation.
It's his fault.
Anyway.
Can't believe you've done this to us, Idlib.
We trusted you.
So, nothing special happens. They just break the coral and swim out. Like, you didn't need to... we didn't really need to cut away. So then Trent and Maddox are in a helicopter being told that the police arrested everybody. Some more Neil Breen shit. And that their aunt would be meeting him at the airport. The cop asks how she's handling things, and Trent's like, how do you fucking think? Maddox says, we'll be okay. And credits.
And then why were they flying over the beach again? Like, who would go around there? I just told you what happened. So fly us over it so we can look at it some more? Maybe we could see our dead parents' bones washing up in the tide?
They're high enough. It's okay. No one's going to get old.
Yeah. Minerals only go so high.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, who would want to see it again? I don't know.
Well, that's old.
That was old.
Yeah, I mean...
It sure was.
Again, if it had just sort of picked a lane, it could have been either a nasty little, like, body horror movie or kind of a sweet little, indie movie.
Way to be subtle, asshole.
I still stick to my original. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that bad if it hadn't been so dumb.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's it. I think we said it all, really.
Yeah. and I don't want to say anymore. So, Blake,
are we still doing garbage or not garbage?
Oh, this was garbage, without a doubt.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. I'll be outvoted on that one. I'm well aware.
So not garbage from Blake.
Yeah, not garbage.
I guess we got to go back and do Twisted Pair.
Oh yeah,
right,
I think
garbage.
we all agree on that one. That's garbage. I'm gonna give the old garbage too. Not good.
Absolutely.
So it's Blake. Blake's the next one.
Yeah.
What do you got?
What are we watching?
I'm not going to go into all the details because y'all have such low expectations of me anyway. I figure I'm a save the good stuff for next show. So anyway, we're watching Surf Ninjas from 1993.
Didn't we decide that this was too good to be on our show?
Nobody answered me when I said I think it's too good.
There's no way it's too good.
It's not too good.
No.
So yeah, everybody knows this movie. It's
Surf Ninjas.
Some kids, they go surfing. Turns out they got superpowers or some shit.
Who the fuck knows?
Leslie Nielsen's there, and he's having problems on the phone. And
he's like a cyborg samurai or something.
Yeah. It's good shit.
Yeah.
Game Gear.
They have a Game Gear that predicts the future.
Rob Schneider's there.
He's in the news.
Yeah, he is in the news. Isn't that something? See, it's topical too.
It is topical. Yeah, Rob he's like ready to sacrifice his career for freedom. So,
well, shouldn't we all be, John?
Yeah. He'd never say.
Why do you hate freedom? Why do you hate freedom?
He would sacrifice saying you can do it, if it meant he never had to like wear a mask again or whatever the fuck his problem is.
I don't know what his problem was, but I don't know if that was it. I don't know.
Don't worry, he'll be fine. He's friends with Adam Sandler, and Adam Sandler gets to make $50 million a year.
Yeah.
Just for farting out barely watchable crap on Netflix.
Yeah. But can you imagine how great it would be to be Adam Sandler's fucking friend, though?
Oh, it's total jealousy that I say that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Because he gets to go on vacation with his friends and pretend that they're making a movie.
Yeah.
For a living.
Gets to just like jack around on a film set for a little while, and
all of them do it
cash.
because they know. Yeah, all of them know. Like, we're gonna get paid to go fuck around. Sure.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't give a shit about my reputation as an actor.
You don't even have to take off your super long like basketball shorts.
So yeah. Anyway, Surf Ninjas. I've watched it now already.
Oh my god.
It's okay. I don't want to go too much into it. I'm just gonna say it was easy to watch because I loved it when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty fucking stupid. Now I understand why my dad would like roll his eyes and say, "Are we really watching this again?" Yes, of course we are.
You mean to tell me that a movie with Rob Schneider called Surf Ninjas is not good?
That's what I'm here to tell you. And it doesn't even have all the philosophy of Twisted Pair and Old.
There's not even a metaphor?
There's metaphors. Metaphors abound. Yeah. But philosophical takes on the world, no.
Damn.
Yeah, there's ninjas and we gotta outsurf them. The end.
Pretty much. Now I will say this, like, the martial arts in the movie is pretty good. I mean, it's not like Drunken Master level martial arts, but it's still something. So there, you got that. It's better martial arts than we usually see.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be fun.
That'll be a fun one.
Because I was under the impression we're supposed to have fun with this show now.
We can.
I had fun with
And we
Old.
will.
Old was fine to watch. It was that Neil Breen shit that I swear, like, y'all have no clue how close it was to me saying, find somebody else.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we can keep that kind of thing to a minimum. We don't have to find the whitest dog shit that we can.
Yeah.
And I know I was the main person who kept doing this, even though we kept saying not to do it.
Yeah.
No more Asylum movies. Yeah. And I know that was all my fault.
So next time, Surf Ninjas. See you then, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Garbage Theater. As always, you can find us online at facebook.com/Garbage Theater, on Twitter at Garbage_Theater, and on Instagram at Garbage_Theater. If you'd care to leave us a review on iTunes, we would very much appreciate it. And if you have a movie suggestion or just want to reach out to us, you can contact us on any of our social channels or email us directly at garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest episodes and happenings. Good night, and see you next time, folks.